farming. It's terrific. You all dress the same every day. As a foodie, I'm really excited about the whole farm-to-table movement, the emphasis on nutrition, the interest we have in bringing what you do into our schools. It's a very exciting time. And I say that mindful that it's also a very challenging time to be a farmer. I understand what the economy has done to so many of you. I know that you have not been spared from one of the most challenging economies in living memory. And you and I both know that state government is not the only, and we can't be the only source of solutions. But we do want to work with you. We have a marvelous commissioner and his team who are partners with you, and I hope you sense them the way I do, experience them the way I do, which is that he is a really good listener. We want to help. We've got marvelous leadership in our committee co-chairs who want to help and to look to you for what ways we can help, and I promise you we will do everything we can. There is at least one really exciting project we may have talked about already, and I know you've prolonged the program until I can get here, and I'm sorry about that. This new public market in Boston, which will not matter to all of you if you're further out in, I like to describe as God's country out in Western Massachusetts. But for many of you, yeah, I'm governor, so I love it all, right? I love every corner of the Commonwealth, but I do have a soft spot for Western Mass. But the public market is meant to be a place where the marvelous production of our Massachusetts farms can be put on display and indeed made available for sale. And to make it a more natural thing for people to connect again with their sources of food. So I'm looking forward to working with you all on that and on every other way in which we can strengthen and highlight and call attention to the beauty, productivity, the tenacity, the example of Massachusetts farms. Thank you all for being here today.
Truly, our farms are the jewels of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. That's a Scott Soares quote, so I'm stealing that here today. But Governor Patrick has been a true leader on the issues that are most important to farms and forestry across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. First and foremost, even in the tough economic times that we have been in, Governor Patrick has seized the opportunity of the bad economic times to lead in the issues of land conservation and land preservation, and has made an unprecedented, in terms of the Commonwealth, an unprecedented investment in land preservation and farm preservation, and has invested $50 million a year for the last 40 years into that program, and is committed moving forward with that same level of commitment and investment. When most other states were backing away from preservation programs, quite frankly because of tough budget times, Governor Patrick saw it as an opportunity to invest and actually get more bang for the investment in terms of the impacts that we could have on the ground. So the governor, during his first 4 years, has preserved over 75,000 acres of lands in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, of which 5,700 of those acres have been on 95 farms across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and 30,000 of those acres have been preserving prime farming and forestry lands across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Truly a major commitment, an unprecedented commitment into the working lands of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. And secondly, he saw the opportunity, the only governor in the nation, to combine energy and environment under the same secretariat, understanding that good, clean energy decisions are also good environmental decisions. So we have been able to focus at EEA on the investments in clean energy, and we have made a major focus of those onto farmlands, so that you will see a pilot program that is well underway for anaerobic digestion systems on farms, wind turbines, solar investments on farms, our net metering policies will allow the family farms to connect onto the grid and actually get that meter to run backwards a little bit for you, so that hopefully we can establish some flow of incomes to the family farm, so that not only is it a good energy investment as we move into clean, renewable energies, but it also allows the family farms to see a steady, predictable cost of power, and hopefully, if the net metering systems all work correctly, actually an income flow to the family farms that can hopefully help you become more sustainable and to grow, so that when we're here next year, we're talking about more farms in Massachusetts than we are even here today.
But isn't this great? Is this great or what? It's a fantastic day. And, I'm not sure how many agricultural days this has been for me to come to. I started for the department back in 1996, and I can tell you that over that time, we have not seen the level of excitement, interest, development that we are seeing right now for agriculture in this Commonwealth. And I think that is due in no short order to all the work that our farmers do across the Commonwealth. The work that you have done, not only to ramp up your production to meet the increased needs that we're seeing, increased demands that we're seeing for any variety of agricultural products. The fisheries and aquaculture industry has grown. The forestry industry has grown. The produce and vegetable growers have grown. Our fruit producers have grown. Beef and livestock, poultry operations. Virtually every sector across our Commonwealth has grown, based in large part on the demands that we're seeing from an ever increasingly hungry for local public that's been looking for those products. And fortunately, our farmers have the ingenuity and the wherewithal to ramp that production up in a state that many of my counterparts across the country don't view as an agricultural state. We, in fact, have a different opinion about that. And if you look at the demographics that we have in Massachusetts and how we compare not only in New England but nationally, we are among the top state in many regards. We, in fact, rank 6th. We heard farmers markets mentioned earlier. We rank 6th nationally for the number of farmers markets in Massachusetts. A remarkable growth that we saw over a period when many businesses, much of the economy was going in a different direction. We have now many farms that have installed alternative energy systems, taking advantage of the Green Communities Act that was signed in 2008 by Governor Patrick, that allow us to install alternative energy systems such as the wind turbines, the solar arrays, now anaerobic digesters, as we heard Secretary Sullivan mention, that have truly contributed not only to a green energy future for our Commonwealth, but also to the bottom line, improving that bottom line for our agricultural businesses, reducing the cost of production, which is something that I know many of us and all the farmers that are here will attest to, is critical as we look ahead at how we can continue to maintain supplies and maintain access to locally grown products to, again, ever increasingly hungry public for those local products. Fortunately, and in spite of what's happened with the economy and what's happened with state budgets, we've also been able to expand our activities in the Department of Ag Resources. We've been able to expand those in large part based on partnerships. What we are working hard to do and have worked hard to do, and Senator Pachico mentioned the growth that we've seen over the last 2 years, is specifically to look at a much broader constituency for agricultural support here in the Commonwealth. We're fortunate that we now have 141 agricultural commissions here across the state. Those agricultural commissions are critical to the local advocacy of agriculture in each one of the towns across the Commonwealth, and really work hard to make sure that agriculture remains a component of each one of those communities' agricultural identity. Not only contributing to the economy, but increasingly contributing to better public health and better community health. We've been able to add many programs around food safety, activities around energy that I've already mentioned, in large part also due to partnerships with our federal agencies, federal partners. The USDA, Farm Service Agency, we have exhibits here at the Natural Resource Conservation Service, the Rural Development Agency. Virtually every facet of the USDA has been critical in working with us. And fortunately, I think we're positioned well now as we come into 2012, 2013, a new farm bill year that will give us the ability to really take some of the examples that we've been able to generate here as success and use those to leverage even greater support from the federal partners that we have to, again, accelerate the things that we've been doing here in Massachusetts, not only to increase farming, but to increase the access to those locally grown products and locally produced products across the state. Within the state agencies themselves, we also have developed great and successful partnerships. I don't think ever before have we had such great relationships with our sister agencies in entirely different secretariats. The Health and Human Services Secretary of the Department of Public Health has become increasingly a more important partner for us as we look at new ways that we can bring our products to market. Most recently, our work with DPH, with a number of farming partners and a number of constituents across the agency, we've been able to improve access by the production of different agricultural products, such as multi-processing.